Welcome inside the Rockwall Sportscenter Rockwall Yellowjacket update. I'm Chris Curtis, joined by the captain of the broadcast for the Yellowjackets, Billy Quinn. And Billy, another tough one, 35-33. Let's first talk about what everybody was talking about on social media over the weekend for the Yellowjackets. That was that onside kick to finish the game. Looked like the Yellowjackets came out with the ball at the very end there to seal the deal, but referee saw it a different way. Kind of tell us what you saw on your vantage point.
So you go straight to the cut. We're just going to put some lemon juice in there.
Let's get to the drama right now.
Let's do it. Yeah, to recap for those that didn't see the game, Rockwall looked like they had it in the bag. The Jaguars scored with, if I'm not mistaken, like around 30 seconds or so left in the ball game. Looks like they were going to tie it. All they needed to do was kick the extra point. James Taylor blocks the extra point. Outstanding job, but now Rockwall has a 1-point lead. All they need to do now is recover the onside kick. They kick the onside, and there's a big, huge pile. Referees make no signal, and finally when they get to the bottom of the pile, I believe, and I'm trying to remember the player that came out with it. I kept thinking it was Broach, but I'm not sure.
Broach too, yep.
Yeah, the Jacket comes out with the ball, holds it up, and for whatever reason, they signal that it's Horn's ball. So we don't really know what happened there. We know that a Horn player kind of got there early, but that doesn't mean they recovered it. So it was a tough break for the Yellowjackets. Then Horn makes a couple big completions, and then they kick the field goal, leaving 3 seconds on the clock, and Rockwall loses that one. Then they go down by 2.
And of course, we have to ask Coach Webb right off the bat what he thought about that final play of the game, which obviously sealed the deal and sealed the fate for Rockwall's 0-3 record to start the season.
Well, the officials indicated that Horn had possession of the ball on the bottom of the pile before we pulled it away and pulled it out of the pile. So that's what the official ruling was.
All right, thanks, Coach. And Billy, let's talk about the game in general over at AT&T Stadium. The talk of Week 2 was turnovers. The talk of Week 3, turnovers again. What went wrong? 4 turnovers, 2 picks, 2 fumbles. Kind of sealed the fate for the Rockwall Yellowjackets, even though they had this game pretty much wrapped up. Yeah,
it looked like they had it wrapped up a couple times. They outplayed Horn as far as stats go, more passing yards, more total yards. I thought, again, for the third straight week, the defense did very well, really keeping that potent offensive Horn contained most of the ball game. As we talked about that onside kick, I think at that point then you're asking the defense to go out and then stop them one more time when they didn't think they would probably have to go out there and do that. So that was a very difficult thing to do for the defense. But the overall negative thing to take away from this ball game is the turnovers. As you mentioned, there was 4 of them. They came at crucial times. There never is a great time for a turnover, but you especially don't want to have a turnover once you get one. There was one moment where Rockwall gets a crucial turnover on a fumbled punt, and they have the ball in Horn territory. Look like they can take control of the ball game, and they turn it right back over on interception. So that's the thing. A team, this is the 3rd team they've played that's been in the top 20, and you don't play very good teams like that and keep giving them chances and come out on top. And unfortunately, Rockwall rolled the dice with those turnovers, and it didn't work out for them.
And of course, it's going to be the same old swan song with Coach Webb talking about turnovers this week in practice before they hit district. Let's see what Coach Webb's going to tell his team this week of practice.
It's something we preach to our kids all the time, and it goes both ways. And we've got to start creating more turnovers defensively, and we've got to hang on to the football. We got to do a better job of hanging on to the football offensively, and that is turnover differential is the greatest factor in determining your odds of winning or losing the game, and so that's a big deal to us, and it's just something we've got to make a bigger point of emphasis. I think, I will say that some of the turnovers that we had, they've been kind of fluky. 2 of the turnovers on Friday night were just kind of freak occurrences. But that's you got to play the game and you got to hang on the ball.
Had a little glimpse of that 2014 offense with the Yellowjackets toward the very end of that game.
Yeah.
There, kind of had that little glimpse of what could be later on down the road. And Coach Webb always talks about swinging that baseball bat and getting in the batter's box and get out there and just start swinging away. Swinging away this week at home against North Garland, who it's not going to be a rollover like we kind of thought it might be. They are 2-1 and looking pretty good right now.
They are. They're 2-1. It still is not a team that we've been playing. Not to take anything away from them, but it's not a team ranked in the top 20 or ranked statewide. But it's going to be a challenge. They are better than we're used to. Last year was a pretty easy ball game. I believe Rockwall was up 48-0 at halftime against North Garland at Williams Stadium. North Garland comes in to Wilkerson-Sanders. It's going to be nice to get back to the old friendly confines of Wilkerson-Sanders. And
is it a downgrade, kind of?
No, I don't think so. Other than the food, boy, the food was pretty good there at AT&T. We won't go into that. Anyway, but no, it's going to be a really good time, and I know the fans will turn out again. Rockwall's really had everybody turning out. The student swarm always doing a great job. But it's going to be a tough ball game. Horn has some weapons on offense. But, I think Rockwall should take it. It's first district game. They'll be ready to roll. And this will be the first team that they play that's not ranked, either, like I said, statewide or in the area.
Absolutely. And Coach Webb has to be excited that district's finally kicking off here at home. Let's hear what he had to say about this week's upcoming challenge with the Red Raiders.
Well, North Garland is certainly a team playing with a lot of confidence right now. They are 2-1, and I'll just say this: all you can do is play the schedule that you have, and they played the teams that were on their schedule, and they did a good job, and they won 50-14 last week over Hillcrest. And I would say that anytime you beat anybody 50-14, that's impressive. So we certainly got our work cut out for us. They feel like we do. It's the opening district game, and it's going to be a critical game for them if they're wanting to get into the playoffs. And so we feel like we're going to get their best shot.
Of course, you notice the kids on social media, there seems to be no panic right now in anybody's voice. And you talk to any of the kids, talking to the coaches, there's absolutely no panic right now, but they do know that that time is now to start racking up some wins.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole point of it now. No more, boy, it doesn't mean anything or whatever. It means something now. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It means something. You have to take care of business. Any loss now hurts. And you're going to have, as I mentioned, 5 really solid teams fighting for 4 playoff spots. And let's remember also the district champion gets another game at home in the playoffs this year. So that's the goal for the Yellowjackets. It took until the last game of the season last year. And remember, Yellowjackets went undefeated in district. But it wasn't until the last game of the season before they clinched that district championship. So it's going to be like that again this year. It doesn't matter how well you do. Now, do I think the Jackets can run the table? Yes, I think they could in district. I'm not saying they are. They have the potential to be able to do that. We saw Garland play Heath in the game before us at AT&T Stadium. They're very good. So but knowing the talent on this team, seeing the improvement, it would not surprise me if they at least did very, very well in district, and we'll be fighting for that district championship when we get to the end of the schedule.
Absolutely, but first things first, it's North Garland this Friday night at 7:30. Let's pack Wilkerson Sanders Memorial Stadium, and if you can't make out to the game, tune in to www.rockwallisd.com to listen to Billy and his crew. Billy, any final thoughts before we get going for
I better name the crew. I'm getting a hard time by you just keep saying crew. So I got to mention, and of course, 2 of them are judges.
It's true.
And one's a school board member. And so I'm getting in trouble. I might get booted if I don't mention. You got David Sweet. Yeah, exactly. You got David Sweet, Brian Williams, and our stat guy, John Bailey, who do an outstanding job. So I want to give them a lot of credit. And we have a good time. If you've listened, you know that we have a pretty good time. And sometimes we squeeze the ball game in. So, yeah, it's a good time by all.
It's always important to squeeze the ball
game
in.
It is. We try to do that.
That's what you get paid for.
It's a priority, right? Yeah.
All right, it's www.rockwallisd.com. We'll see you at 7:30 at Wilkerson Sanders this Friday night. Have a great week, and don't forget, Jack's fight never dies.